to On Air with Kash. Our guest today is a singer, dancer, and actress. Her career began when she became a member of Kids Bop, where she performed in over 100 live shows before the age of 12. In 2014, she became an independent artist and released her debut original song and video for her empowering anthem, Girl Power. She had lead roles in the Awesomeness TV series Cheerleaders and the DreamWorks television series OMG. In 2019, she completed her Be Strong tour and released her single and music video for Waste My Time. You can currently see her on billboards all over town for the new season of American Horror Stories on FX and Hulu now. Please welcome Tori K.
Oh my goodness, what an intro. I think when I walk out my apartment door every morning, you should just say that before I leave, so it like amps me up for the day.
Okay, Tori K, you take on the world today.
I love it. You're so good at that and like kicking it off. How are you?
I'm great. It's definitely been a tough year. Things are opening up again. We have the show. We're so honored to have you on. I mean, Tori, you're someone you're always up to something. I never see you slow down. I mean, I've been watching you perform for years. We're involved in a lot of the same organizations. Yeah. And every time you take the stage, you just captivate everybody. And you're unstoppable.
So much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I think COVID was a lot easier. I like saying the word just to put, I feel like it's the elephant in the room. We just say it from the beginning and then we can move forward. COVID. I feel so much more comfortable with like everybody went through a hard year. Like you're like, yeah, it was a hard year. And I think everyone just like has finally recovered from it or somewhat learning to recover from it and cope with it. And now we're like moving forward. So I appreciate you saying like I'm constantly doing something because I feel like COVID really wanted to make all of us stop what we were doing. And yeah, it was just so cool to see everybody still push through and like starting podcasts or starting different things and like creating new things to be creative about because we couldn't go on tour and we couldn't see people in person. We couldn't be on stage. And thank you for the performance compliment. I do miss being on stage. I do have a lot of performances like coming up that I want to keep planning since the world's opening back up again. But I did miss that a lot. So thank you for that.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I was just at a friend's birthday party. It was the first time I'd seen a group of my friends in a long time. And they were, a lot of musicians were there saying, oh, Kash, we're just starting our tours now. It's great.
Yeah.
We're all looking forward to getting out. And for us, like the TV and film productions, they're starting to open up. I know we had to do a lot of testing for a few projects. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so exciting. Auditions are starting back up. Like, I feel like my life, it was a good pause. Like, I feel like I learned a lot about myself during that situation. I think the industry is always so go, go, go. That it was like so weird for us creatives and like industry people to like have to slow down and like breathe. So for me, I've been in the industry since I was young. I mean, I didn't even know how to like cook dinner for myself or do the laundry or do the dishes. So it was like time. My mom was like, okay, we're not rushing to go to set. We're not rushing to do this audition. You can learn to do those things. And so I learned a lot about myself and grew a lot as a human, as an adult. Yeah, I'm very thankful for the time, but I'm very excited things are starting to open up again in my life. I feel like I'm like reborn, like my life is starting again. I'm so excited.
I love it. I can totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, you and I are a lot alike in the fact we're just always on go mode. It's just go here, do this. And, we book something. We're always consistent. My colleague, Kathy Cola, who we always run into you at the shows and everything. I mean, we were promoting a movie and then I think the last time we saw you in person was at the Lumiere Awards at Warner Brothers.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was so insane because it was there. And then there were all these Oscar things. And then literally like a week or two later, it was like, boom, everything just shuts down.
It was so sudden. There was like no warning. Yeah.
A month later, just mask up, social distance.
I've had a lot of conversations like recently about what we think the world will look like afterwards. Like what will tours look like now? Meet and greets. Are meet and greets going to be different? I think eventually human contact is just human contact. I mean, I don't think I'm very like touchy, not like that, but like I just want to be able to hug people. Like I don't really shake hands. I like hug people. Because I'm bubbly and I like showing people that like I'm a positive person. So when doing meet and greets, I'm like, I don't want to just like have glass in between us. Like I would love to be able to hug every single person that comes up. And obviously be sanitary about it. I think people still were doing that even before COVID. But it's so interesting. I'm like, will those even like exist the way they did?
You did do a meet and greet in Orlando, Florida. You were judging and performing at a pageant.
Yes, that was weirdly enough. Like I was so like, again, the creative people that did all this stuff and kept afloat during COVID. I grew up doing pageants my whole life because I'm from Texas. So I was doing pageants. And then I think it was like right when I dropped Girl Power, they were like, will you come and perform for us? Because I wasn't competing anymore. So now I'm kind of part of like alumni, like staff for this amazing pageant called National American Miss. So they've invited me to nationals, which is usually actually in Anaheim, California, like near Disneyland. And I would go and perform for all these precious little girls who are just like chasing their dreams, competing at this pageant. So it was actually in Orlando, Florida this year and for the years to come. So that was so cool. We actually had to do meet and greets, obviously with masks, and we did social distancing pictures. And they couldn't actually like, I couldn't touch anybody's hands while I was up on stage. I had to keep my distance. Like I couldn't completely like move forward. So it was so cool how they still were trying to give little girls the opportunity and young ladies opportunities to still chase their dreams and pursue goals and the pageant industry. And then obviously gave me a place to perform and still meet people and meet fans and, you know, have that opportunity. So I thought it was really cool. That was last November. Yeah, they usually do it every year during Thanksgiving.
I mean, Girl Power became an anthem, and you've been involved in the SOS Foundation and a lot of events that and charities that we've been involved. I mean, even a St. Jude, a few things that you and I have collaborated with as far as charities and organizations go. I just see the way that the audience responds to you, but then even just the young girls when you sing Girl Power, and they really look to you as a role model.
Yeah, it's such a cool role to be at. I think especially since I grew up watching Britney Spears. I grew up watching Zendaya, like all of these iconic women that were just such great role models. I mean, obviously, I think they also did a great job of showing their flaws. Like each and every one of them, they all go through their periods of time they were just so real. And whether they wanted to be or not, it was shown on social media. And I just, being in kind of the same position, like National American Miss has given me that opportunity to be a role model, like they were for me to these young girls. And I just find it so cool. And especially using my song Girl Power 2.0. I mean, I wrote that when I was 13 and now I'm almost 20. And the song means something completely different to me now. But it's such an anthem that I feel like you can twist it in so many different ways to make it fit your situation and what you believe in. Like I've even said, I was like, guys can still have girl power. Like I think guys can relate to the song. It hypes anybody up.
I get pumped every time you turn it on. I get inspired.
I bet, which is like when I did the music video for it in New York when I was 13, and it was so funny because my whole team was like, okay, so we'll just get a bunch of girls. I was like, why not guys? When I was 13, and they were like, why would you have guys in your girl power music video? I was like, why wouldn't I? So we had like every single kind of person and dancer dancing with me in that music video. And I love that song. It's probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written, just from the message and how much it resonated with people. I love that it's become like such an anthem of mine.
Your songs really resonate, as well as your single Kings, and actually a lyric in there you've said is your motto in life. It's even right there in your Instagram bio. It's, I'm not wishing on a star, I'm chasing it.
Yeah, that weirdly enough, that grew up in pageantry. I think a lot of pageantry and like growing up doing dance competitions, even like it just kind of built this whole life motto and positive and like goal setting aspect in my life. Weirdly enough, my pageant coach when I was younger, we were coming up with a personal introduction, which if you know what a personal introduction is, it's like literally I was 7 years old standing on stage with a microphone saying a minute speech about myself in front of a bunch of people. Like that's kind of like, it's so cool what these do, that they set you up for success on like learning how to do real life skills. And we came up with the statement, I'm not wishing on a star, I'm chasing it. Because I liked the idea of like a shooting star and like wishing for your dreams. But I was like, I don't want to wish for my goals. Like I just want to make them happen. I literally remember like my 7-year-old self being like, what? Like, I think you have to work hard for goals, like specifically. So that statement has always just followed me in my entire life. Weirdly enough, my motto when I was 7 is still my motto. And I truly believe that. I think there's obviously the universe, things happen for a reason. You have to be in the right place at the right time. You have to know people, but also it's the work ethic. You get up every day and you do what you love. And that's why things come to you. You get the opportunities that you get.
I believe in that same philosophy that you've just said. I mean, I'm a big believer in, I mean, work ethic is everything. You can put stuff out, but then it is listening to the universe. You know, like, cause I mean, there's times when I put energy out there and then nothing bites back. You're like, you know what, there's a reason why I wasn't supposed to go there.
Exactly. That's so interesting. It's so interesting how things will not happen. And then randomly you'll be like so frustrated, be like, why? And then a couple years down the road, couple months down the road, even weeks, you're like, that's why. Because I wouldn't have been able to do this. Like, and my mom always says every no is closer and closer to your yes. And I think that is like so genius. I was like, I think I was upset that I didn't get to like book a job that I was really passionate about the audition. They're like, every no you get is closer and closer to your yes. And I was like, that's a really good way of putting it. Because not only do not get that role, but you learn a lot from it. You learn the skill, you learn, maybe you tapped into a different kind of character, a different kind of emotion. There's life as a whole learning and growing journey.
And you released Waste My Time.
Yes, I released my single Waste My Time. That song's so funny to me. It was just, sometimes you go in the studio and you write music at a specific point in your life and your feelings. And that was specifically when I was going through a breakup. I think the best art comes from most hurt feelings sometimes and the worst experiences. And that song really helped me heal from that. And kind of make me gain confidence. I write a lot of songs to help me gain confidence. And I hope it does the same for other people. I don't even think you have to listen to it while you're doing a breakup. You can just listen to it when you're having a bad day. It's just like, yeah, it makes you bop. It's fun. All my songs are like super fun dance songs.
And I'm with you too, where I got to do my journaling a day, and it's really just getting whatever thoughts out, releases baggage. So when you validate what it is that's either holding you back or not bringing the best out of you, it's really paying attention to that. I mean, you do it in song form, and I think anyone can relate to it by listening to it. And at the same time, you're dealing with something, but you're making it poppy and fun. And I do got to say this about the video. I have a pink flamingo in my pool. It's my favorite lounge toy. Oh yeah. When Friday rolls around and I'm done for the weekend, I make a fruit smoothie and I just lay down. You have one of my favorite in your music video. So thank you for the cameo.
Awesome. Yeah, flamingos are one of my favorite animals. And when I found that house, because we were trying to find a location for the music video, we found a house that had a huge flamingo wallpaper. And I was like, this is it.
I don't, the video. I remember that. Yeah.
I do not care what the rest of the house looks like. I saw that wall and I said, we're shooting there. And then we went through the entire rest of the house. And it was beautiful. And I was so thankful I got that location. And then in the pool, they had the flamingo floaty.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. But yeah, so it's like kind of all came together. I love this so much. That's one of my favorite music videos and favorite things I've shot in general. Life as a whole, learning and growing journey.
Oh, you said it. And I can't tell, I was just having a conversation with someone too, where there's a period a few years back, I was doing a few movies. Yeah, there was a project that we were trying to get going and it just wasn't happening. But because that project didn't come about, the right one came about afterwards. And then because of that relationship with that team, another relationship came with a colleague of mine who I have collaborated numerous times with. So but it took experiencing a few things not working out to lead me down that path. And then it wasn't like, I mean, if I just walked away and said, forget this, I can't do it anymore, nothing would have happened. But you have to, that's where you're saying the work ethic comes in, where you have to be persistent and you have to just keep going. And when one thing doesn't work, it's like, okay, I got to stop putting the energy that way. It's wasted energy. I got to go this way.
It's so funny how the universe and the industry does that. Because I've literally had days, I think we all do, not even just like as industry people, but as people in general. We have those days where we're like, okay, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? I'm not getting any further, which is really why I wrote my single Do It Like Me. It was like, I needed to remind myself that I am who I am. And like, this is what I need to be doing. And it was weird because I wrote Do It Like Me and put it out at a weird time in the acting industry as well. Because I was like, I remember talking to my friend and I was like, I'm so drained. I'm so drained. And literally the next day booked a job. And I was like, I think I booked American Horror Story, like the billboard. And I didn't even know what was happening with that until I was on set. I was literally on set doing makeup for 3 days straight. I was not told what I was shooting because it was so like hush hush. Until the last day, I finally found out. I think one of the makeup artists came up and told me. And I was like, you're kidding. You're kidding. Like then season 10 spinoff American Horror Stories, like billboard. And like during that same time, I wrote Do It Like Me, which was literally knowing who you are and wanting to like believe in yourself. It was so weird how all of that happened at the exact same time.
Oh, that is amazing. And I just got to say, there's a big billboard and they do all of FX and Hulu stuff that's right by my house. So I live like right by this Whole Foods. There's a billboard above. So now I know it's you. It's your posters on there. And I literally see it when I walk to Whole Foods, the gym and Whole Foods are 2 blocks away. So every time I'm walking back and forth from the gym, I see this billboard. And then it wasn't until I saw your Instagram post where you showed
You knew it was me.
I'm like, oh my God. And then, because it looked familiar, it was like, I was like, something's like, and then, but of course it looks nothing like, I mean,
nothing like me. I feel like if you know that it's me, then you're like, oh, I can totally see that. But if you don't, you would just be like, that's a really cool beat, because it does look kind of creepy and it kind of shocks you. And then you're like, wow, it's so cool. And then you just kind of move on from it. It's funny. I actually sent I think when I saw it, I was like freaking out one morning. I was like, oh my gosh, they freaking put, because it was on Hulu, tweeted it, like Ryan, like the director, the creator of the show tweeted it, like all of it. Even me, I'm like shocked that that's me. I think it's the makeup artist did an incredible job of making me look like that. Like that's insane. I've never looked like that in my whole life. So it was a really cool experience. I met a lot of cool people. And yeah, weirdly enough, it comes at the perfect time, which is so weird that like the recent song that I'm promoting right now is Do It Like Me. And it's all about like reminding yourself that you're perfect just the way you are and what you're doing. And you just need to stay on that path no matter what happens. I mean, it's literally called Do It Like Me. Like nobody can do it like me. And it's like it's kind of cocky, but I think you need to have those cocky moments to remind yourself that like, you're all good. You can I feel like people can just turn on Do It Like Me and be like, okay, I'm good. It's just a reminder. It's out on all music platforms. I actually have a dance. It's out on like TikTok and Instagram and all that jazz.
The last tour you did was the Be Strong tour in 2019. The tour was you were supporting the military families and soldiers.
That was so cool. Yes. If you remember the USO tour back in the day where like all those cool celebrities and artists went out, so they really wanted to kind of do a spin on that and do it more towards the family of the military. So they wanted to bring out upcoming artists, which I thought was so cool that they wanted to do that, is bring upcoming artists that are just out here doing what they're doing. And so they brought out a bunch of upcoming artists and I went to 3 different stops and it was just so cool. I went to Kansas City and then I actually went to Italy. I was in the base in Italy and we did meet and greets at like their school there for all the kids. And then we did performances with the families. So I got to meet pretty much all the families. Some of the soldiers were there, some obviously weren't. And it was just so cool. I don't have anybody in the military in my family. So it was just such an eye-opening experience. I mean, obviously you always have respect for the Army and like what they do. I'm so thankful, but it was just such an eye-opening experience. I think for anybody was just meeting these families and like some of them would even have conversations with me. I met some soldiers. I interviewed some soldiers. I gained so much respect. I met such cool people that I still talk to now. Like I still DM some of the families and moms and soldiers that I met on the tour. And it was really awesome. It was like a whole nother level of like, I love touring in general, but that's like touring for a cause and especially for military.
That is so fantastic, Tori. And I do come from a military family. Both my grandfathers were veterans. So we thank you for your support of the troops.
Well, thank you. I just got to go do what I love and meet awesome people. It's truly thank you to your family and everybody that I met on the Be Strong tour. I'm literally so thankful for that experience and everybody that I met was incredible. And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. I'm really just so honored to have you on. I'm a big admirer of your work. I love the message that you put out there for your fans. I love how you give back. You're just so talented. You're so fun. There's never a dull moment with you on stage. You get the party started. You're going above and beyond. I just can't wait to see where your journey takes you next. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. When I got the message, I was like, I know him. Yes, I want to be on his show. He's so awesome. I remember always seeing you at events and I was like, I wonder how he's doing. Like, I hope he's having a good month and he's doing great. So when I got that email, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course. So awesome. So thank you for thinking of me. Oh my gosh, of course, Tori. And I love running into you and your mom. And I know your mom's like my mom. I mean, she's the producer of this show. We started working together the last year. So it's just, and she's always been like my #1 supporter. And I wouldn't be who I am without my mom. So I love the relationship that you and your mom have. Oh, that's so amazing. Go moms. Go moms. They're awesome, right? They're just such solid little like foundations that you can build and they're always there for you. That's so awesome. I love that. You surprise me more and more with everything that you do. You go from girl power and then you go to Waste My Time. You did not stop at all during this pandemic and I can't wait to see you live again. Thank you. Yes, I'm really excited to be putting out new music. I hope to have a single coming out by the end of the month. I'm ramping up even like a new genre. I'm just exploring, especially during COVID, like gave me time to explore with my music and like grow not only as a human, but as an artist. So I'm really excited to like get back on stage, maybe get back on tour and drop some more songs and yeah, just like start life up again. So I really appreciate you chatting with me today. Oh my gosh, you are welcome anytime you want to promote. Can I come back tomorrow? I'm so down. I want a sign that says on air with Tori K, like right next to yours. We'll put in a studio there for your mic and your band, and we'll have your sign over there. Yeah. Amazing. That's be awesome. That's so awesome. Tori, I can't thank you enough for your time today. You keep rocking, girl, and I'm going to catch you at a live show very soon. Yes, it was so nice chatting with you. Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for rocking out with me and Tori K today. You are on air with Kash.